Welcome to Mischief Wargaming. I'm John and this is Blood Bowl. This is it, the final game of the Mischief Cup. With the league looking so close, it really comes down to this last game as the Hexoatl Sun Warriors face their final opponents, the Borderland Bloodseekers. Just to recap the league standings, as things are, Wildglade Wanderers are looking to win, with 12 points and more wins than either Darkmire or Dunderhaven. However, if either team in this game win, they will win the league. If the points are tied, then the results are ordered by the number of wins, then touchdowns, then finally if everything else is tied, casualties. But for now let's look at the teams. The Hexoatl Sun Warriors are in a strong position. They have a full complement of players, and have the debuting Nactil and Colpex. The biggest hurdle the team currently faces are the lack of skills for the Saurus. But the Skinks provide the speed and agility needed to score the touchdowns, and the number of Saurus, combined with the Croc score, outweigh the Khorne player's strength. Casualties aren't going to be super important. Hexoatl need to focus on winning and mainly preventing the Bloodseekers from scoring. The Borderland Bloodseekers are in an interesting position. Their players are overall more skilled than the Saurus, but with Viscera missing the game, they are at a disadvantage. So, using the petty cash and dipping into their own treasury, they hire the services of a star player. And what a star player he is! Creek Rustgouger, a hulking rat ogre with a huge chunk of warpstone wielded as a ball and chain. The Verminator is a dominating, if unpredictable, presence, and the Bloodseekers will want to maximise his impact before he is eventually sent off. The fans are in attendance and the weather looks fair as Khorne wins the coin flip. Wanting to take advantage of the giant rat ogre, they choose to receive the ball first. The ball is kicked and the bloodlust has already begun as the Borderland players enact a quick snap. This lets Gra, with his freshly mutated arm, get into position to catch the ball before it lands. And I think I've done it right afterwards. I'm sure there's still plenty I'm getting wrong. As the game begins, I get this mistake out of the way now. This is the first time I've used a player with a ball and chain. I completely mess up how Creek moves. But before we get there, the Bloodspawn, Bloodcall, rolls for his unchanneled fury. He passes and he blocks the Croc score. The huge lizard is knocked down, but their armour holds. Now I mess up Creek's movement. A ball and chain moves by rolling a d3 and is moved like it was a ball being thrown in. I mess up by mixing up the direction each number refers to. I'll catch it pretty soon, but for now Creek collides with Glottal Tor. The Rat Ogre has a frankly ridiculous strength of 7, easily overpowering the Saurus. The armour breaks, and is left stunned. Creek continues to move, but doesn't hit anyone else this turn. Spleen Rip blocks Akan Cho, knocking them down, but not breaking their armour. Skull Rage then blocks Hexoatl, pushing them back. His frenzy forces him to follow up, causing the Saurus to stumble. Lastly, Gorehound blitzes Khorne, using his horns to gain the strength advantage. The Sun Warrior stumbles. With the knockdown Lizardmen getting back to their feet, Zoex the Chew passes their bonehead roll. Cottlchark blocks Grimner, pushing the Marauder back. Zir dodges away. Chrono does the same, but needs to use their dodge skill reroll, thanks to Creek's prehensile tail. Yizuk goes to dodge, but fails, even after their reroll. They fall, causing a turnover. Quick to take advantage, Ra blocks one of the new skinks, Necromantic, but the result is bad, forcing the Bloodseekers to use a reroll. The skink is knocked down, and their armour breaks. Nectil was removed as a casualty, having been badly hurt. Skull Rage continues the assault as he blocks Hexoatl, pushing the Saurus back. With the frenzy follow-up, the Sun Warrior stumbles. Creek Rust Gouger starts building up momentum and crashes into Yotsul Yi, causing them to stumble. After Creek continues spinning, I realise my mistake in how he's been moving, so he should be moving at least consistently after this. Snarlskin blitzes Chrono. Sending the skink into the dirt. but doesn't break their armour. Bloodcool attacks the Hexoatl, pushing them back. Bloodcool's frenzy leads to a second attack, where Zoex the Chew is knocked down. The Bloodspawn uses their claws to break into the Hexoatl's armour and removes them as a casualty. Zoex the Chew is badly hurt, and a major player for the Sun Warriors are out of the game. Spleen Rip blocks Akan Cho, but the Borderlands luck runs out as an attacker down result ends their turn. Things are already looking pretty bad for Hexoatl. But they only get worse after the Saurus get back up. Yizuk tries dodging again, and fails and falls down. Only this time their armour breaks and they knock themselves out. Skull Rage blocks Croat Zayap, causing them to stumble. Bloodcool blocks Zir, with more than enough strength to use 3 dice. With a stumble and 2 both down results, Bloodcool uses his Brawler skill to re-roll one of the both down results, only for it to be a push result. This lets Zir avoid harm thanks to their dodge skill. Still, Bloodcool has Frenzy and follows up, with Zir receiving enough support to reduce the attack to only 2 dice. Zir is knocked down, but their armour holds. The Verminator begins building momentum as they collide with Yotzul Yi, causing them to stumble. Using his mighty strength, the Rat Ogre breaks through the Saurus' armour, leaving them stunned. Snarfskin blitzes Glottal Tall, but with 2 both down results, both players end up on the floor, ending the Khorne turn. With so many Sun Warriors on the ground, there isn't much the team can do. But Hexoatl blocks Gorehound, knocking him down. And Hexoatl does the same to Grimner. Only this attack leads to the Marauder being knocked out. The two Khorne Ghouls get back to their feet, before Gra, Herc and Ra huddle closer to the end zone. Creek starts spinning and eventually finds Zir. Despite the overwhelming strength advantage, the comparatively tiny skink is only pushed back. But the Verminator isn't done, as they next move in and hit Hexoatl. The Saurus is knocked down. But their armour holds. Bloodcall attacks Akan Cho, causing them to stumble. Spleen Rip blitzes Kroak Zayap, also causing them to stumble. There's even less available to Hexoatl this turn, as once all the players get back to their feet, the only player in position to do anything is Hexoatl, who blitzes Jeff, pushing him back. Bloodcall attacks Akan Cho. Using his brawler skill to push them back. The frenzy follow-up knocks them down, again after using brawler. Using his claws, he rips into the Saurus, knocking them out. Creek Rustgouger begins his ball and chain move. And collides with Hexoatl, pushing them back. Creek then crashes into Hexoatl. Knocking them down and breaking their armour. Using the star player's mighty blow, the Saurus is knocked out. violence doesn't end as Skull Rage blocks Chrono. They need to use a reroll to avoid a complete disaster. Instead it's only a mild disaster as both players are knocked down. The Skink's armour breaks, and they're removed as a casualty, being badly hurt. Skull Rage, however, remains unharmed. It's not much of a break for Hexoatl, but at this point they'll take what they can get. Yotsu Yi blocks Jeff, causing him to stumble. The Saurus breaks through his armour, and Jeff is removed as a casualty. With a lasting injury, Jeff permanently loses some movement. Cottlchark blocks Snarlskin, knocking the Khorne down. Breaking his armour and leaving him stunned. Glottal Tor needs to pass a rush check to blitz the other Khorne, knocking Gorehound down. Kroak Zayup ends Hexoatl's turn by pushing Spleen Rip back. Bloodcool blitzes Cottlchark. Pushing them back. The Frenzy follow-up does the same, despite the Brawler reroll. Spleen Rip blocks Zir, the Skink's dodge skill keeping them safe. The follow-up attack knocks them down. But their armour holds. Creek nearly goes an entire turn without hitting anyone. But with his last move, he collides with Kroak Zayup. The Saurus is knocked down. And he's knocked out. Glottal Tor blocks Gorehound, knocking the Khorne down. His armour breaks, and he's knocked out. Yotsu Yi goes to block Bloodcool, but both players are knocked down, ending the short Lizardmen turn. Bloodcall is apparently too angry to get back up. Spleen Rip blitzes Glottal Tor, causing them to stumble. The armour breaks, and are left stunned. Creek starts spinning his chunk of warpstone. Eventually finding Zir. Since the skink is already on the ground, the Rat Ogre pushes them back and breaks their armour, stunning the skink. There's nothing Hexoatl can do to stop the Bloodseekers from scoring. Cottlchark blocks Snailskin, but only pushes them back. Gra then scores the touchdown he's been putting off, leading the game 1-0 against the Hexoatl Sun Warriors. As the drive is over, the brave, or stupid, referee tries to send off Creek, but the star player's I'll be back rule lets him deal with this referee and comes back for the next drive. Unfortunately for Borderlands, this last drive is only one Lizardmen turn, essentially removing the Verminator from the game. Off screen, Crixus, Kroak-Zayap, Akancho and Grimner all recover from being knocked out. The team's set up and the ball is kicked. Nuatpa makes their on the ball move. The kickoff result is solid defence, but since the Khorne team won't get a turn, there's no use rolling for it. The chameleon skink fails to catch the ball, and it hits the ground. Glottal Tor blitzes Horror, using a team reroll to cause both players to hit the ground. Horror is stunned, but it doesn't matter. The turn is over, and at half time, Borderland Bloodseekers lead Hexoatl Sun Warriors 1-0. This time a newer and more stubborn referee manages to send Creek off for his somehow secret weapon. As the team set up for the second half, things are not looking good for the Sun Warriors. Losing the Kroxigor is a major blow, but perhaps being free of the Rat Ogre menace will give them a fighting chance. The ball is kicked and Nuatpa makes their on the ball move. The kickoff result is a quick snap, then multiple Lizardmen players move one square. The ball scatters off the pitch, giving Hexoatl a touchback. The ball is then given to Akancho. The open Lizardmen move up, before Akancho blitzes Herc. A reroll is needed immediately to push the Marauder back. Giving the Saurus room to continue moving up. Glottal Tor blocks Grimner, pushing them back. Kroak Zerb blocks Gra, knocking them down. His armour breaks, and is left stunned. Criticised Slee blocks Spleen Rip, causing the Bloodseeker to stumble. Yotsuyi blocks Skull Rage, but can only push him back. Snarlskin blitzes Akan Cho, his horns making it an even block, but the Saurus is only pushed back. Herc blocks Hitzo, knocking the skink down. Bloodcall blocks Criticised Slee, using his Brawler skill to cause the Lizardmen to stumble. Skull Rage blocks Kroak Zerb, pushing them back. And again after following up with Frenzy. Grimner blocks Glottal Tor, knocking the Saurus down. Akan Cho blocks Snarlskin, causing the Khorne to stumble. He's then left stunned. Kotalchark blocks Hurrah, but both players are knocked down. While both are unharmed, it ends Hexoatl's turn. Ra blocks Zir, but with 2 attacker down results uses a reroll. Unfortunately it's not much better, as both players end up on the ground. Zir's armour holds, but the same cannot be said for the Marauder. Ra is left stunned. Zir blitzes Herc, using the assists to cause him to stumble. Herc's armour breaks and is stunned. Akan Cho, Nuatpa and Hitso move up towards the end zone. Glottal Tor blocks Grimner. Stunning the Marauder. Kroak Zayap blocks Skull Rage. Both players are knocked down. But Skull Rage ends up worse as he's knocked out. Spleen Rip blocks Yotsul Yi, causing them to stumble. Bloodcall blocks Glottal Tor, but even after the Brawler reroll, both players are knocked down. The Saurus is stunned. But a turnover still wins the turn. This lets Akan Cho score a touchdown, tying the game up at 1 apiece. Skull Rage recovers from being knocked out, and the team set up again. And the kickoff result is brilliant coaching. The Borderland Bloodseekers gain a reroll for this drive. The ball hits the ground, and the drive begins. The open Khorne players move in before Gra picks up the ball. Snarlskin blitzes Yizuk, the Skink's dodge skill protecting them. Skull Rage blocks Yotsul Yi, causing them to stumble. Bloodcall blocks Kroak Zayap, pushing them back. The frenzied follow-up does the same. Spleen Rip blocks Akan Cho, knocking them down, but not breaking their armour. Glottal Tor blocks Skull Rage, knocking him down. But not breaking the Bloodseekers' tough armour. Cottle Shark pushes Herc back. Colpex dodges twice. Criticized Tlee blocks Spleen Rip, sending the Chaos Warrior flying. Krark Zayat blocks Bloodcall. Both players end up knocked down. Bloodcall's armour is broken, and he's removed as a casualty. Worse, he's dead. The Khorne team call on their apothecary, and instead the Bloodspawn is only badly hurt. The Saurus, meanwhile, is fine. After that setback, Grimner blocks Nuatpa. The Chameleon Skink would only be pushed back thanks to their dodge skill, so Grimner uses a reroll. Instead, the Sun Warrior is knocked down. Their armour broken. And removed as a casualty. Snarlskin blocks Yizuk, but can only push them back. Gra blitzes Colpex, but the dodge skill keeps them safe. Gra's Frenzy lets him push the skink into the crowd, where they are stunned and placed into Hexoatl's reserves. Hara blocks Zir, knocking them down. Gorehound blocks Heatzo, but can only push them back. Crookshan's Tlee blitzes Gra. Passing 2 rush checks to do so. The Marauder is only pushed back. Glottal Tor blocks Grimner, knocking him down. Yotsul Yi blocks Skull Rage, causing him to stumble. Hitzo dodges away. Hurrah blocks Zir, knocking the skink down. Gorehound moves in, needing to pass 2 rush checks. Herc blocks Cottle Shark, knocking the Saurus down. Ra then blitzes Yizuk. A reroll is needed, and the skink is pushed back. The frenzy follow-up only manages to push them back too. Snarskin blocks quick-sagitally, causing them to stumble. Lastly, Gra moves up towards the end zone. Hitzo dodges to move in towards Gra. Yizuk dodges too, but only to blitz the Marauder. Gra is knocked over. Though his armour holds, more importantly the ball bounces off the pitch. It's thrown in and lands far away. Back in the Borderlands half. Glottor blocks Grimner, pushing them back. Yotsuyi blocks Skull Rage, sending the Bloodseeker stumbling back. Khorne then tries to pick up the ball, and manages it, turning the game in Hexoatl's favour. Ra moves in, trying to rush, needing to use a reroll. A reroll better spent on Gorehound, who tries to blitz Khorne but trips, ending the Borderland turn. It's about now that I realise that Khorne just doesn't have the speed to reach the end zone, meaning it's impossible for them to win. However, if the team can earn some casualties, that will still earn them enough league points to win the league. Khorne blocks Ra, sending the Marauder into the dirt. Hexoatl blocks Herc, pushing him back. Glossator follows up, knocking Herc down and stunning him. Khorne blocks Snarlskin, knocking him down. But not breaking his armour. Heatso blitzes Gra, pushing him into the crowd. The fans attack and knock him out. To round out the game, Hara blocks Zir. The Skink is knocked down. And is removed as a casualty. Spling Rip blocks Akan Cho, but only pushes him back. The frenzy follow-up ends with him knocking himself over, ending the game. Hexoatl Sun Warriors and Borderland Bloodseekers are tied 1 apiece. Hexoatl had a hell of a rough start. Losing Zoexta Chu so early really hurt them, but the team ultimately suffered 5 casualties throughout the game. The team just really struggled to deal with the combination of Creek, Rustgouger and Bloodcool, but they still very nearly pulled out a victory at the end of the game. But by not rushing a few spaces a turn earlier was all it took to make winning impossible. The team collect their winnings and Glossator is the MVP. For advancements, Yotsul Yi rolls and ends up with Grab, while Akan Cho ends up with Armbar. Lastly, Glossator chooses a skill and picks Guard. And here's how the team looks at the end of the league. The Borderland Bloodseekers was so close to pulling off a victory. If the Skinks didn't get Gra in the second half, the team would have almost certainly won the game, and therefore would have won the league. For the most part, the Bloodseekers, Spleen Rip and Skull Rage didn't impact the game all that much, with Bloodcool and the star player Creek Rustgouger doing all the heavy lifting. Speaking of Creek, he more than paid for himself, even if he didn't directly cause any casualties, and if his second drive was completely wasted. He's just such an overwhelming and unpredictable presence that Hexoatl were forced to do what they could to avoid being near him. Meanwhile, Bloodcool seemed a lot more reliable in actually causing injuries, until he nearly bit the dust himself. The team collect their winnings, and the MVP was Grimner. Khorne blesses Grimner with a random mutation, and the Chaos God seeing fit to give him claws. Gorehound rolls for a skill and ends up with Pro. Skull Rage chooses a skill and picks Block. And here's how the team looks after that game. And here are the final league standings. With both teams scoring a point for a draw, and Bloodseekers gaining a point for causing at least 3 casualties, they are tied up with the other teams besides Greenshire at 12 points. As I mentioned at the beginning, if the points were tied, then we look at the total number of wins. Wildglade, Darkmire and Hexoatl all have 3 wins each. From there, the team that scores the most touchdowns wins the league, meaning the winners of the Mischief Cup are the Hexoatl Sun Warriors, with 9 touchdowns across 3 wins and 12 league points. So that brings the league to an end, and what a close league it was. So what's next? The Hexoatl Sun Warriors are going to be redrafted into the next league, with a bunch of new players and some returning experienced ones. They will be facing 5 brand new teams, which will all get proper introductions shortly before the next season actually begins, along with a reintroduction to the new Sun Warrior setup. Between now and then, however, the next 2 videos will be my usual variety picks, including the continuation of the Star Trek Alliance campaign. After that, we can expect some Fallout factions. But if there's any game that you'd like to see me check out, let me know in the comments below. But for now, thank you all so much for following on with this season. It got off to a rocky start with a huge break at the beginning, but now that that's finished, I can say it's been a lot of fun playing so much Blood Bowl and getting so many rules wrong. I've got another whole season planned of getting rules wrong. Until next time, thank you all very much for watching. Take care.